Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are back to work on the 2021 Camaro SS1LE, and in the last video you guys saw that we got that sucker painted in and it was fully done, but I did show you guys a little bit of damage that was on the bumper. From when I was wet sanding, I accidentally sanded through the paint. I know, and guys, I'm telling you, if I knew what the next couple days after that would have been, then I probably wouldn't have even polished that bumper. So basically guys, that bumper before didn't even need any polishing, but I just did it just because I polished the entire car, so why not just get the bumper too, just on the top, and I sanded through it. So after that, I ended up repainting this bumper about 4 or 5 times, and the reason it was so many times I had to repaint this bumper was because the paint, since it's winter time, it's not getting enough time to cure properly. It started having a reaction with the new paint that was laying on top of it. And basically what started happening is I had to keep sanding the bumper. I had to keep painting it. It kept shriveling up. It kept wrinkling. Here's a few pictures here. And then one very bad area was right here. So basically what we ended up doing there is you can see a little hard line there. Reason it's like that is because I wanted to see what would happen if I just kind of just scraped the rest of it off and then clear coated it. Because what kept happening was every time you would sand those shrivels out, for some reason they would spread. Like they would just keep getting bigger and bigger as you sanded. So luckily I found what the secret ingredient is to fixing this, and that was to paint just super slow. If I'm being honest, it took me 2 days to paint this. Or it took me 3 days to paint this. It took me 2 days of base, and then it took me 1 day of clear coat. I don't like painting stuff like that. I like to do it all in 1 day because, you know, if stuff gets too much dried, then stuff can go wrong. But I think in this case we're fine because it's really cold here at night and it's winter time. So anyways guys, the bumper is here. It's finally painted, and then very nerve-wrackingly I sanded the bumper and then I polished and buffed it. Thing is, the buffer was broken. Somehow the Velcro on the buffer came undone, and I didn't want to glue that back on because I don't want the glue coming undone and then the hard part of the buffer hitting the bumper and ruining it once again. So I decided to just go ahead and do it by hand. It looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with it. But basically guys, today is the day we finish up this Camaro, guys. I'm super excited. This day has been in the works for so long, guys, and it's finally here. Let me show you guys the parts that we're going to be installing right now. So basically guys, the stuff that we are installing is all the undercarriage stuff first. So we have 2 skid plates here. We have this cross member, and we have another giant skid plate. Basically the game plan right now is to install everything under the car, and then after that we go ahead and assemble the doors and the interior door panels, and then after that we do the front end. So I already threw the headlights on the car just so it could be easier for us to put the bumper on and get everything lined up, so we don't have to worry about putting the headlights in because those are already in now. So basically before I assemble the bumper, I kind of want to mock it up. I just want to see how well the paint matches. It should be pretty spot on. So I already threw the headlights on the car so we can mock it up that way, but we're not going to mock it up yet. Let's go ahead and get all this undercarriage stuff put on the car. So without any further ado, it's time for an extremely cold start. And guys, I also got the remote start working here on the Camaro. Reason being it wouldn't work before is because the hood wasn't on. This door wasn't shut all the way. So let's go ahead and cold start this beast. Guys, that cold start is absolutely epic. It never gets old. I'm super happy to get this car on the road. Let's go ahead and pull inside and get to work. Alright guys, so now that the car's in here, you guys can get a better look at what there is to do on this car. And honestly, from the looks of it, it's not much. But for 1 day, it's pretty much a lot of work because we got a lot of reassembling to do on both doors. And this front bumper is a pretty intricate front bumper. I've never seen a bumper with so many parts on it. There's like grills and headlights, and there's little molding pieces for the bumper and ducts and vents. There's just a whole array of parts just for that thing. So let's just go ahead and get to work so we don't waste any time. So first, let's start off with jacking up the car. All right, guys, car is fully jacked up in the air. We got a lot of room under here to work with now. So it's pretty clean under there too, but the first thing to go in will be this skid plate, and then those side ones, and then that. So right here we have some pretty big bolts for that skid plate, so let's go ahead and install them. Alright guys, it is fully rugged down there now. It is nice and protected from all the road elements. Except for that transmission cooler, I'm still a little bit skeptical, even though that's the factory way to do it. I wonder why they made it like that, where like it's fully exposed right there at the bottom. Pretty interesting. Alright guys, so anyways, now that the undershielding is all replaced, I totally forgot that I wanted to put this horn in for the longest time, and I actually ended up finding the screw that goes here. So the one that I ordered, I guess we waited for it for nothing because I found the other one. So let's go ahead and get that horn, plug it in, and then after that, let's go ahead and get those doors done. All right, let's test it. Nice. All right, guys. Now it's time to assemble these doors so we don't have to keep opening the doors this way. So we'll start off with the exterior of the door, obviously, and the final panel will be the door panel. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, guys, this door is fully put together. Everything looks amazing. This whole side is basically almost done. We are going to throw the rocker panels on before we do the bumper, but we're going to probably do the rocker panels after the other door is done. All right, guys, so basically that door, what we did there, everything is the same thing here. So let's get this done in 3, 2. All right, guys, so the door panel is on and everything else is as well. Check this out, guys. This car is starting to look more and more like a car as we go. The inside, everything works well, guys. I'm super happy. The interior on this car is basically fully put together now. All it needs now is a good clean to get all these rocks and stuff off the out of the doors, and just a nice little vacuum to get all of our working hand grease and everything out of it. I just realized one thing about the rocker panels is the jack stands are probably going to be in the way of it. So what we're going to do now is actually, I guess we're going to go ahead and start assembling this front bumper so we can slap it on the car. I really want to do the rocker panels first, but we need the car to be up in the air like this so we have access under the car to put the inner fenders in to secure the bumper, as well as to bolt the bottom of the bumper. But we'll take care of the rocker panels last. So let's just go ahead and, I guess, put this bumper together for good. Alright guys, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I was just about to go ahead and reassemble the bumper. If we assemble the bumper, then we have to put it on the car, and the brackets to put on the car are not on. So basically there's a giant bracket that comes up here. It's super cool. It has a Chevrolet Performance nameplate on it too. When I ordered it, it didn't come with it on it for some reason. And if I was to order it, it would take a super long time to get it in. So I went ahead and I just took the nameplate off of the broken one, because luckily it was still okay. And I cleaned up the badge really good, and I put some 3M adhesive on the new nameplate after getting measurements from that one. And I stuck it on the new one. So that nameplate looks absolutely amazing on that part. It's in that box right there. But basically what I went ahead and I did just now is I installed both bumper brackets on both sides, so the bumper can clip in when we put it on. And then one under shield I forgot to put on is in this radiator. Under the radiator, there's a little shield that goes under just to cover the radiator a little bit. So I went ahead and threw that down there too. But now before we put the bumper on, one thing I want to install, I want to put this inside of the fender, because that's where this one goes. And then I can put the washer bottle back in, because I had to take it out to get access to that. So let's just go ahead and get that knocked out really quickly. Alright guys, so I got that all taken care of. It's all put back together. It looks amazing. Now that we have the insulator pad there and that bolt, it should do a little bit more with noise reduction in the cab, but I really like hearing that V8, so maybe we don't even need those. But it's factory, so I'm going to install it. And this is the part that I'm talking about. So right here, this is the next part we're going to be putting on. Check that out, guys. Look at that nameplate right there. That is so sick. So basically, we're going to put this on the car here. And then after that, we're pretty much ready to go ahead and start building the bumper. There might be some other parts that I find in boxes that we need to take care of. But other than that, let's just go ahead and put this on, and then we'll see what to do next. Alright guys, so the next step, I just keep finding new parts in the parts room, but I just brought everything. That's not all the boxes for the bumper, but the bigger boxes are just outside that door right there. But those are all the parts for the bumper. So basically, I've looked through all the parts, and it seems that the next task we have is the bumper. But before we do that, we do have to install these cowls. And I think down here, yep, there's some tape right there. So let's just go ahead and install these cowls, and then we can get started on that very complex bumper. And then, right, and now for this next one, same way, it goes right there, and then these two just snap in, like that. That one gets tucked under right there. Get another push clip, just like that, and boom. Another cowl installed. So now this car is starting to take shape. All these finishing touches are going in, and now we can get started on this very complex bumper. All right guys, so I got all the bumper pieces in here except for the grills, but everything else I just brought in here. So let me walk you guys through everything that's here, and then why I keep calling this bumper so complex. So right here on the car, I have the freshly painted pieces that we painted for the bumper, and then over here we have basically what was left of the bumper. There's a few decent parts on this bumper that we can use. This bezel, I was gonna use it, but it's a little cracked right there, and I don't want that to show on the cars, so I went ahead and ordered a new one of those. I think it's in that box. And then here we have an air duct for the brakes. This is good. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use this side marker, and we're using this DRL as well. And then we might use the screws that are on the bottom of the splitter here, depending on if we need them. I think the new splitter comes with hardware though. And then there's a few little clips and retainers too that we're gonna use. But now right here, as I'm assembling this bumper, I have my laptop right here, and we're gonna be looking at this diagram. Look at how many parts there are to this bumper. There's just so many. So you have this absorber, that trim piece up there, then that thing in the middle, this big old yellow piece, it's right there. So that's this, and then the two yellow pieces on the side. And then you have the air curtains and then the bezels, which I do not see on this diagram actually. But yeah, guys, let's just go ahead and get this bumper knocked out. Right guys, so it took an extremely long time to get all these molding pieces and the grills clipped in, especially this grill right here. New bumper, new grill equals new clips. Finally got them and they're all clipped in, and now we're gonna put on this little guy right here. Now somehow, surprisingly, this is the only piece that basically survived from the accident in this whole front end section on this, from this whole middle part on the bumper. All we got was this grill, and we didn't even get like that little SS badge or anything, but we got the little Chevy bow tie. So that's pretty crazy. So I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna slap it on, and then we'll also put that SS badge on. Alright guys, check out this bumper. That thing looks absolutely aggressive, guys. That's the meanest bumper I've ever seen. Let's take a closer look. It took a lot of diagrams and stuff and a bunch of wiring diagrams and parts diagrams to figure out how this all goes together just because of how many ducts there are and everything, and I wanted to make sure I get everything right, which things go first, because I don't want to put something in and then have to take it out again, which I had to end up doing anyways. It always happens. So anyways guys, we got this sweet grill right here and a nice duct back there and this massive grill here with another duct right there, the bow tie and the sick SS badge. And then coming around to the back of the bumper where it's super complex back here, you have the DRLs and then the absorbers. There's two absorbers sandwiched on top of each other, then a bunch of wiring that's running to the lights, and there's also side markers. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I masked off all the edges of the fender right here on both sides, and we're ready to mock up the front bumper. And if you're wondering why the 1LE splitter is not on the car, that's actually because it goes on after it's installed. It actually gets screwed in with the screws that go to the splitter, I believe also screw into these and the inner fenders as well. So it wouldn't make sense to put it on now because then it would just have to come back out to screw it in for good. Without further ado, let's go ahead and mock up this front bumper. And I'm sure it's very heavy, but let's give it a shot. Alright guys, check this out. So the front end is finally on and this car looks really, really good. The gaps look amazing, everything lined up great. So now basically what's going to happen is we have a few more parts to order, some finishing touches. Let me show you guys which parts they are. First thing we have to order is a side marker light here. I thought we had a good one, but it was actually chipped. Then over here for the Chevy bow tie, there's a bracket back here. This you can see it's kind of loose. It's not as sturdy as it should be. So I have to order a bracket for that. And because the one that's on it right now is actually cracked in half. So half of it's missing. The other part we have to order is actually, some of you guys may have noticed, is this mirror. So unfortunately, we all make mistakes. But when I was having this car dry, when I had the A-pillar, I totally forgot that the mirror was right here. And it's made of plastic. So what happened was, while it was making this nice and toasty, getting it nice and warm, it accidentally deformed the mirror. So sucks that it did that. It honestly isn't too bad, but I'll admit it, that was my bad, but it's okay. I'll make it right. I'll replace it. So that is basically all the parts we have to order for the car. One mirror, a bracket, and a side marker. All right, guys. So my brother is behind the camera. Even though we're not ready for it yet, my brother really wants me to mock up the splitter on the car. Trust me, guys, this is just a mock-up right now, and it's going to look so much better when these wheels aren't sitting like they have a lift kit on them. And when those side skirts are on, too. Yeah, those side skirts, too. But let's just go ahead. I think this is your guys' first time seeing this lip. This thing is massive. So thin. All the parts going on this car are authentic, genuine GM parts. Dude, absolutely insane. Really? It looks really cool. Dude! No way! No way, guys. Check that out. That fit, man. Dude, I love the little winglet they put on the side of the splitter. That looks sick. Alright, guys, so I came up with a little bit of an idea. So I think I know of a way where I could get this car finished today because I'm super excited to get this car done. I just really want to see this thing all done on all four wheels on the floor. So basically, here's what we're going to do. For the side marker light, I'll just keep the plug right there. And once the light arrives, I'll just go ahead, plug it in, and snap it in. No screws required for that. And then as for the mirror, that doesn't require the front end of the car, so we can take care of the mirror later. So other than that, I think we're pretty good. And for this bracket right now, I'll think about what to do with that later. But for now, it's not going anywhere. This bracket's pretty strong. So let's just go ahead and reassemble all the stuff for the car. I want to go ahead and tighten this bumper down all the way. So let's just go ahead and get started with screwing in the bumper for good. Alright guys, so let me go ahead and show you what I've gotten done so far. So over here on the driver's side, I went ahead and I put in the inner fender and the side paneling for the inner fender, so that's all screwed in. I'm probably gonna have to order a couple more of these type of screws just for everywhere else on the car. There's some that needed in the bumper area and some on this side here too. And I also got this side of the inner fender done too. But right now what I'm working on is I'm trying to fix the camber on the car, trying to get it to go in a little bit more. Right now, it sits a bit too negative. Obviously, it's more negative now because it took the top bolt out. That's all we're going to do today, guys. So I'll see you all tomorrow in the morning. Alright, guys. So it is the next day here. So basically, guys, this morning, I called around a few dealerships. And somehow, to my surprise, basically the parts that I still need for the car, I decided to go ahead and replace this bow tie, the bracket for the bow tie, and another bracket for the bow tie. Reason I'm replacing those is because this bow tie does have a few scuffs and scrapes right here, and then the two brackets are cracked. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace all of that stuff right there. And then I also need one little screw to screw this in so it's not sticking out. It just screws right in. Super minor stuff right there. And I also needed the side marker light and that mirror, which I'll get to more on a little bit later. Basically, to my surprise, they didn't even have that screw or anything, but what they did have is a side marker light, and even more shocking, the mirror. So the thing is with the mirror now, what I found out is this mirror, it just looks so bad the way it got melted from the heater. But what I found out is this right here is actually painted, and you cannot order it in this color. I was thinking that it would be able to be ordered in this color. And from what I know, you can't order this from the factory in this color. But I thought you might be able to, since the lip I was able to get from factory in this exact same color. So the mirror that they gave me is just a primed one. And I was thinking it might be able to work, but obviously once I saw it at the dealership, I knew it wouldn't work. But I bought it anyways, just in case maybe we might be able to work something out with it. But right now I'm trying to track down a mirror in this color so we don't have to paint this one, because I'm sure replicating this satin paint might be a little bit difficult. And I did go ahead and pop this lens out of the mirror because the new mirrors usually don't come with a lens. So I just took it out to see how easy it would be to take this out and if it would break. Luckily, it didn't break. It's right here. I wrapped it up in some foam. So it's right here and it's just on clips. So basically all I did was I pushed the mirror here at down at an angle. I stuck my hand back here and I just popped it forward and it came right out. So that's pretty easy the way that comes out. But let's just go ahead, snap the side marker in, and then we gotta adjust this camber. So let's adjust the camber here and put the side marker on. Perfect. Alright guys, so the next thing I want to do is I want to put this lip on. I'm not going to put on fully yet. I'm not going to do any of the adhesive or any of the rivets or anything yet. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt it in just to see what it'll look like. And we'll probably keep it on the car until all the finishing touches come, and then we'll put it on fully. But I just want to mock it up on the car right now so we can get everything kind of screwed down, a little bit situated, so we can drop the car off of the jack stands and we can put the side skirts on. Alright guys, check this thing out. With the lip on, it just completely changes this whole car. It looks absolutely amazing. Now, this is all the hardware they actually included with the whole set. You have the screws, of course, and then you have all these rivets. And then you have some wipes, alcohol wipes, I think, to clean the area for the adhesive. And then they also gave these plastic pieces right here. This one's for the right side, so it goes like on the bumper, something like this, and you have to drill onto the bumper. You drill into it 3 times, in 3 spots right there, and then you rivet these in, and these are like brackets with clips on them that hold the splitter in. But right now it's pretty strongly on there with just the bolts and not the adhesive. But we're probably gonna do the rivets. I haven't decided if we're gonna do them yet or not, because I really don't want to drill into the bumper, but we'll see what we end up doing. But now, the only reason we put everything on this car like this is 2 reasons. 1, to test fit it, and 2, we've all been waiting a super long time to see this car come together, and we have a few finishing touches left for the car that are on their way. I already ordered all those emblems and stuff, and I don't need to take the bumper off to get to the emblem. All I need to do is just undo, I think, this, and this one, and these 4 10s here, and I can just take this cover off and I can get to it from right there. So it's pretty cool, guys. I can't wait to put this car on all 4 wheels. So let's just go ahead, put the wheels on, drop it down, and then we can start working on those rocker panels. Alright guys, check this thing out. It is sitting on all 4 wheels, and that camber is set up nicely now. Before, the wheel was sitting straight, but now it's nice and tucked in there, or it's like at a slope now. So that's exactly how the fitment is from factory. So I'm super happy about that, guys. This car is looking super amazing. Super excited to pull this into the sunlight and see what it looks like. Although we might be running low on sunlight, so we might have to act fast. But let's go ahead and see if we can get these side skirts in, because after that, this car will basically be like 95% done. So let's go ahead and put those side skirts in. Wow, guys, take a look at this. This is the side that took the most damage on this car, and look at it. It's looking perfect, guys. So basically, this side skirt was actually one we repaired. It had a massive crease right over here, if you guys remember, and the paint was wrinkled and everything. Look at that, brand new, can't even tell. And there was paint chipping right there too. Took care of that. It looks amazing. All the clips, everything went in. It's nice and strong. This thing's not going anywhere. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump on the driver's side, and then after that, it seems that we might have a little bit of sunlight left, so we might be, if we're quick enough, we might be able to see this thing outside. So let's do it. Guys, check this out. So the car is fully put together. Every single body panel is back on. This car looks amazing. So before we go and pull it outside, I want to actually throw that lens back onto the mirror, or the mirror back onto the mirror, the mirror lens back onto the mirror. I just want to throw that back on so it doesn't get misplaced or broken or anything. So I'm just going to throw that back on there, and let's pull this thing out and see how it looks in probably sunset sun time. So let's see. Guys, this looks pretty crazy. Check this out. Check that out, guys. The Camaro finally looking like a car once again. This thing looks mean, guys. I cannot get over this front end. This is by far one of the craziest front ends I've ever seen on any car. That is crazy. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's look at the other one too. Check that out, guys. What? This car is crazy. Look at this. It definitely needs a good clean inside and out. This car's covered in dirt, grease, car grime, just everything. But my goodness. What a car do we have here. You guys want to see this car three-wheel? Every time I take it off the driveway, the suspension on this car is so stiff for the track that every time I go off the driveway, it three-wheels. One of the wheels comes off the ground. It's crazy. And I really hope that the lip is able to clear because it's so much further away from the front wheel. Yeah, that's the three-wheel I'm talking about, but let's see. I think the lip will clear. I'm just super scared. I think it might come close, honestly. This is super scary. All right, guys, if it's getting close, you let me know. It just barely clears. Well, we probably got like an inch or two right there, but gosh, guys, this is amazing. Let's put this little guy inside, covered in the overspray. Dang, guys! Oh, gosh. Alright, guys, so here's what we're gonna do. This car has been sitting in the garage for quite a while now. We need to get these oils, these fluids, we got to get them running around the engine and the transmission. Plus, it's a nice excuse for me to drive this thing. So let's go ahead, do a nice test drive as well. Make sure everything sounds good, no rubbing, no nothing. And then after that, we'll bring this thing home. We'll wrap up today's video. So let's go ahead and adjust that mirror. All right, let's go for a test drive. Quick little dash check. So we only have a check engine light. That is actually for a transmission solenoid. We do have a check engine light on. I already have an appointment at the dealership for that sometime next week, I believe, and they're gonna take a look at the car and hopefully everything's good with that. But let's go for a quick test drive. Guys, this is this car's first time back on the... Oh, shoot! There's a cop right there. Well, let's just back her on up. No way. All right, guys, well, I'd really love to go for a test drive right now, but the main road right out here is crawling with cops right now for some strange reason, and I don't feel like getting pulled over just yet with this thing. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna wrap up today's video. Sorry, guys, I thought we were gonna be able to go for a test drive, but we got a little mini pull-in just right here. So guys, in the next video, we're gonna finish up polishing this front end right here, and then after that, we're gonna button up a few things, tighten the stuff up, get the adhesive set on the splitter, and just take a look at a few miscellaneous things, just get it all situated and see what we can do about that mirror. But that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Guys, this Camaro has came a long way, but that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this Camaro build as much as I'm liking it, then go ahead and hit that like button. While you're at it, there's a shiny red subscribe button down below that you should click. But that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.